Now let's start with the lab number 2, where we are going to connect data to Microsoft Sentinel using data connectors. So we are going to install a couple of solutions: Windows Security Events, Azure Activity Connector, and Defender for Cloud. Right, so let's start with the first task, where let's search for Sentinel environment. Select workspace, and here you have to select for the content management. So you have Content Hub, and here we have to search for Windows Security Events. So let's add this so that security events can be ingested from the Windows machines. And let's install this. Let's go to the manage page. And this is how it will look like. It has got some connectors and here some playbooks. Right. So let's click on view details to make sure that okay, this is added. Create a plan over here. Make sure the subscription is also selected. Resource group 2, your workspace, and similarly we have to do it for the Azure Activity and Defender for Cloud solutions as well. We'll search for that. Create it. Once this is done, we are going to repeat the same process for ingesting the Azure Activity logs. So let's go again, go to the Content Hub, search for Azure Activity, and that's here. So let's select it, click on view details, select your subscription, create a plan. Here you have to select your resource group and your workspace. On the next page you will see the data connector will be installed for Azure Activity, right, in your Sentinel workspace. This is for analytics, hunting queries that will get added. So what all complete things that you get in this package, it's all about that. and we can check it from here by selecting our Sentinel workspace, and in data connectors tab you can see that these are now installed. It will show as connected over here, but let's first do similarly for the, so let's search for Defender for Cloud. Again do the same thing, click on view details and you will get an option to create a plan for installing this solution. You need to select resource group and the workspace, and let's create it. Again, let's go to the Sentinel, select the workspace, and under the content management we have our content hub options. We can see the status for all the solutions that we have selected as your activity. So we click on that, we can go to the manage page. That's where we can select this connector, open connector page. So we have to do some configurations over here. All the prerequisites will be checked. You can connect your subscription, so it is already connected. Right. And then you have an option for launch Azure Policy Assignment Wizard. So here we have to select the scope. Okay, that is we can select our subscription. On the next page we can select the parameters which are there. So here we can select the log analytics workspace. Remediation, so we have to make sure that it creates a remediation task so that all those existing resources which are there, that can also be updated via this remediation task. Right, then let's move ahead. If you want, you can also show some compliance message, non-compliance message for this policy that we are enforcing. That's all we have to do. Now let's see how to set up the connector for Azure Defender for Cloud. And this is completed. So let's go back to the content hub. We can search for Defender for Cloud, Defender for Cloud. And we see the status for that. So let's select it and click on the manage page. We have to select the subscription based Defender for Cloud, which is a legacy connector that we are going to select. Then we have one more tenant-based Microsoft Defender for Cloud. But in this lab, we are going with the first one. So just click on that, open the connector page, and here it will check for all the prerequisites. And then you select your subscription. You have to make sure that this is set to connected. So you have to make sure that bidirectional sync is enabled. Right? You have to do that. Bidirectional sync enabled. And that's it. So we can just refresh this page once to make sure the bidirectional sync is enabled, to cross check it or verify it once. Okay, now let's go back to our Sentinel workspace. And then here in the task 4, after we install the connectors for all those solutions, we will just see how to create an analytics rule. So let's select analytics from the configuration menu. Here you have some rule templates available already. You have some Microsoft Fusion rule which is active by default, right, that you cannot control. Then you have suspicious, let me check for this, suspicious number of resource creation or deployment activities. This is the rule template, right? So we are going to create the rule for this one. So if it detects suspicious number of resources in Azure or deployment activities in Azure, it can send an alert, right? So let's go to the rule logic. Here this is the rule query, and this is about scheduling, query scheduling. Run the query every 1 minute or whatever hours or days that you can select. What is the frequency of the running that query? Look up data from the last, let's say we'll keep it 1 hours. That is from the past minutes or past duration. Were the activities same, right? So you can schedule that, or you can also schedule it automatically to be running, or you can also schedule it at a specific time. Then you have event grouping option where you can group all the events into a single alert, or you can trigger an alert for each event. Okay, so that's how you want to um, group all those alerts. Here you have a suppression rule, like stop the query being executed after these many minutes, right? Incident settings, let's keep it all default. This is all about incident and alert groupings. Automated response also, we'll leave it as it is for now, and then we are going to save it. Ah. Then the task number 5 is to ensure that the activity workbook is available in my workbooks. Okay, so let's go to the content hub again and let's see the status for the Azure activity. Let's select it and then open the manage page. Here we just have to make sure that the okay, let's select this connector. These are the workbooks that we have over here. Let's say how many workbooks? Two workbooks are there. So let's select the workbook over here. Uh, two workbooks. And let me search for it. Okay, this is the one. Workbooks are used for data visualization. Let's open it and do some configurations over here. So here you will see this is your template. So what details are going to be collected? You have 4 templates available and we are going to, like, you can see the template over here. These are some pre-configured templates available to see top 10 active resource groups, activities over their time, right? Caller activities, activities by log. These are like you can say data visualization template created by default in the form of Azure workbooks. So let's save it. Select the region in which you have your workspace and save it. See it in the notifications. Okay, now this is done. You can also see the view saved workbook over here. So you can use the templates available for visualizing your data for the Azure activities. That's complete our lab number 2, which is all about data connectors, installing solutions in the Microsoft Sentinel workspace, and to manage their configurations.